Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. Your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Please reach out to me directly. Email tmosso@thewatchbox.com for pricing. Today we're discussing a red gold Omega Speedmaster Professional Moonwatch as it came out in the year 2021. This is the latest version with caliber 3861. It is the coaxial master chronometer Moonwatch, but it is still 42 millimeters in diameter here in Omega's Sedna red gold, 13.5 millimeters thick from lug tip to lug tip, 47.5 millimeters with a 20 millimeter spacing between the lugs. A quick note on Sedna gold. You may be wondering what exactly that is. It's a lot like Hublot's King Gold and Rolex's Ever Rose, in that it has a lot of copper to make it particularly red, and then a lot of platinum family alloyed material that makes it particularly resistant to fading over time. So you can see that the bracelet here is a 3-link design that's intended to channel the heritage of the Moonwatch from the late 1960s. The entire watch is supposed to read like a modernized version of the reference 105.012 that actually flew to the moon with Apollo 11. So you'll see a lot of those references throughout, from the design of the dial to the bezel to the bracelet and the clasp. And you can see that although this is vintage inspired, we have a modern system of removable links fixed by screws. There is some taper to this bracelet. The top links are satinated. You can see that we have this single fold deployant clasp with a twin trigger release system. Note that the Omega logo is polished and the remainder is satin finished. I like that kind of contrast here. Thick gauge material, and there are 2 different divots drilled inside the clasp. So using your strap tool, you have a micro adjustment between those 2 positions by employing the spring bar. So you have the ability to remove links, and then you have that micro adjustment built in. It is a very secure closure system. You have to press both triggers to open it up. It will not pop open accidentally or haphazardly. The case is familiar lyre style lugs, which means they're beveled inward, but they're also beveled outward. The outward bevel is polished from end to end. The case is longitudinally satinated. The underside of the bezel, as you can see, is a combination of polish and satin. And then the bezel top, featuring a vintage-inspired tachymeter scale, and you will appreciate that it is inspired by that of the 10512. So we've got little elements like the diagonal 70 and the dot over 90 that people look for. Sapphire crystals on both sides on this watch, and the timepiece, if you look carefully, you can see that it has a anodized aluminum bezel insert. So that's very true to history. They wanted to go with a little bit more historical ambiance than you get with ceramic, so the anodized aluminum was used, but we do have a sapphire crystal. We also have applique indices and Omega logo, another upscale step compared to the standard modern Moonwatch. The watch is loomed. It does feature enough luminescence that you'll have no trouble reading it in the dark, and that includes the chronograph seconds hand. The dial is a matte black with rose gold gilded print, and we have dished sub-registers. Turn the watch over. We have 50 meters of water resistance. I'll do my best to show you the movement here. And you can see that all of the advertising, so to speak, master chronometer, first watch on the moon, coaxial, it's tastefully confined to the case back. The dial, rightly, has been left relatively spare, with only the historically present elements like the logo, the name of the company, the model, and the sub-variant within the model line. So all of the advertising is confined to the back where you don't have to look at it full time. 50 meters water resistant, that's the case, which, by the way, Omega advertises as swimmable. Let that speak for itself. This is caliber 3861. We now have one movement that's shared between display case back and solid case back Speedmasters. For the first time, it is a master chronometer, which means it meets the chronometry standards of the COSC, but it goes beyond. Tested as a fully cased up movement in 6 positions. It's tested for power reserve, it's tested for shock resistance, the watch is tested for water resistance, and the movement is tested for magnetic resistance. It has an anti-magnetic escapement and a silicone hairspring. The Moonwatch is now free sprung for more precise adjustment and greater durability against shock. Power reserve, still manual wind, is now 50 hours rather than 48. We still have a wonderfully crisp cam lateral clutch chronograph. The cam system on these La Magna base calibers now remarkably sharp, to the point that if I didn't know better, I would think this is a column wheel. And the movement is still distantly based on the Lemania 1873 Bausch, so that heritage is still present and correct. Beaten away at 21,600 vibrations per hour. And on 26 joules, one feature that's new on the Moonwatch is that we have a hacking seconds function that will stop the watch, so you can set it precisely against a reference time. Previously, Moonwatches did not have hacking seconds, and that is a significant upgrade for those who believe that a space-themed chronograph means every second counts. So reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details of this Sedna Gold Omega Speedmaster Professional.